What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Marketflow, powered by Thor, presented by Mode. The markets have been looking a little ugly, or is it buying opportunity? Well, if you look at Thor and Auto Thor, what it's been doing, performing, we see it was DCAing out, basically laddering out, taking profits up here in the 190 through 200 ranges. And then it's been accumulating since and really DCAing and buying heavy ever since 150 all the way down here to the 125 range. Look for Thor to keep accumulating. Do you guys sold the top, right? You sold above 200 and you're buying back now. Okay, yeah, you could have just held and been better off. If not, you could be one of our users that has approximately 2.4 million TVL locked in the protocol right now, and our average user has a P&L, a profit ratio right now of about 45%. My personal contract is right in that range as well and is about to close. So, what am I going to do with this money once I get it out of the contract? What are we going to do? Well, let's take a look at the markets, see what we've got. Of course, we're going to start here with Bitcoin. We're on a 4 hour chart. And if you remember when we left off last week, we had this, we had actually two longs that are stacked up right here, right? We have two different longs. Here's one of the take profits. Here's the other take profit. We've only triggered the one. We didn't quite get down to the other, but this is an active call right now. I'll zoom in. This is an active call for Bitcoin 4 hour long that since top of entry range has gone up approximately 7% and right now is sitting almost 5%. So the TP on this one is up here at 8%. And just after that take profit, you'll notice Thor has now printed a new short call. It's a very short TP range, right? This is not a far TP range. It's a very short one, short, small entry zone, very short take profit point, especially for a 4 hour call, looking at less than 4%. So, is this, if we zoom out a little bit, is that going to be our higher low filling out this call? Is that going to be our higher low where we then find support and break up? We have our downtrend line that we are going to be watching to tell us that this downtrend line right here. Are we going to break out up above it, or are we going to move about in this range for a while? Fill out this other call. Maybe get some other shorts printed here. We still do have this big range. We have this range that price had been tested last run, but not this run. If things get bearish, if Bitcoin does start to lose some of the ETF money that's been propping it up, and it does no longer hold the prop, and it goes for the drop, I see DCA points of 56, 52, and then that long-term zone we know of at 46, and that's that 40% retrace. And right here would be that approximate 30. We know these to be big retrace retrace points. Or are we holding strong? Are the ETFs going to prop it up, or are we going to drop? We'll find out, but we could range. We could range in between these Thor calls and kind of just move about in this zone for a while. So don't get shaken out, right? This is where they're going to play some games. This is where they're going to catch people getting complacent. Retail's going to get bored. What little retail is here. Retail's going to get bored and they're going to move on to something else before they make the move up. So don't get shaken out of your spot positions for sure. If we go ahead, we take a look at Solana. Solana, we have got Thor short still up here in that 219 range. But look at this. We talked about this zone before on the last stream. This zone right here where we kind of blew through and we only came down and tested it one time. I've created an indicator here through Pine script here on TradingView, and it gives me a line of exactly 60% down from the top. And if we look at our 60% retrace point, it's now Thor has a call printed dead on it. So if we do see Bitcoin start to take that retrace of that 20 to, maybe that 30 to 40, I definitely think we are going to see Solana take that retrace of 60. So this is a zone that could be in play, and not financial advice. Do your own research, but I believe I said this last stream too. If we get down to this range, this could be one of your best DCA points for the entire bull run to come. So don't get shaken out. We've got our target points, right? If we go into Thor, we go into Thor manual trading, we're going to take a look at those points just to see if anything else has been called and established for us yet. We'll log into regular. We're going to start at Solana, drop down 4 hour. Okay, so we see we've got two shorts. We've got one at 153, 219. So did I have the one at 153 marked? Yes, I did. Okay, so you can see we have a short call. Very narrow entry, very short TP range, just like we talked about with Bitcoin here. You'll see the next short is a very tiny, narrow entry, and it is a fairly small take profit. So that could be a retest point, not necessarily calling a top, but a retest and move about the range. So yeah, see that's the power of Thor, and even me looking back, I kind of missed that one going through our own little TA there. But you can see that's what we've got. We've got two shorts and the single long stacked up. So let's say you want to take this long call that's down here on the bottom we just talked about. This is where the true power of Thor comes in for the individual. Not just knowing when to buy and when to sell, right? That's great. You know when to buy, you know when to sell. What is the other part of profitable trading? The most important part of profitable trading. That would be proper risk management. Proper risk management and finding yourself on the right side of probability is profitable trading. Thor puts you on the right side of profitability by giving you your entries and your exits. But this is what we're going to use to manage our risk management tool. So again, if we want to take this Thor long call, how do we do so and properly manage our risk? When we click manage risk, we're going to see risk quote currency, USD, the amount you are willing to risk. So you have to look at your portfolio and manage your portfolio by only trading with a small portion of it in each trade. And then in each trade, you should only be risking a small portion of each trade. So that's portfolio management and trade management. These parameters are going to be up to you. But let's say after you determine your portfolio risk and your trade risk management, you're willing to lose up to $20 in an individual trade. We're going to type in 20, the amount of USD that you are willing to risk. Calculate. We're going to look here to the median of Thor. There's a 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-1.5, and a 1-to-2 ratio. We're going to look at the 1-to-5, the median of Thor. And I know I'm going to buy 1.09 Solana at $83.50. And that one Solana that I bought at $83.50, I'm going to sell at $107.90 at take profit, or I'm going to cut my losses and hit a stop loss at $65.19 for a loss of $20. Now you notice if your parameters change, let's say, just to look again, if you want to take this long call, Thor is calling for a long on Sol. You want to take this long. Risk management. We're going to change the parameters just to show you. We're going to say maybe $50. You're willing to lose up to $50. You have a big trading portfolio, trading account. Okay. Now you know you're going to buy 2.37 Sol at $83.50. You're going to be selling that Sol at 107.90 for your take profit, or you're going to hit stop loss at 65.20 for a max loss of $50, because that is how you've calculated your risk. This is how you calculate and manage your risk. Thor helps put you on the right side of probability. Now Thor helps you manage your risk as well. This is profitable trading, right? Let's go back, take a look at Sol real quick. Where are we at? What's going on, right? Well, let's start with Bitcoin. I left off last stream saying I'm not sure Bitcoin is really the right gauge for barometric pressure of the market anymore, because we do have ETFs propping it up. And Bitcoin really hasn't had much of a bleed, right? We've only come down about 20%. We haven't had much of a bleed, where when we look at Sol or some of the other alts, you know, the bleed out has been much more drastic. 45% looking to hold support here at 40% down, right? So if Bitcoin continues to bleed, if Bitcoin continues to play out this pattern and we met that resistance, if we fill the Thor long, meet resistance and come down, if we continue to fill out either this range, where it gets scary is if we make a lower. A lower low is when we could be looking to get bearish, but honestly, any lower lows is where I'm going to, not financial advice, do your own research, but potentially look to load up on spot bags, right? So, or are we going to see the bullish scenario come early, where this take profit point being so short, maybe we fill this Thor long call, we hit the take profit point of the short, that's our support, there's our break, there's our retest of our downtrend here, right? Gives us our break, our retest, and maybe we move back up to test these all-time highs and maybe potentially break. The RSI right now still is on the downtrend as well. It still is in that bearish area. And if you look, next time it tries to retest, it's going to be retesting the downtrend as well as neutral. So this looks like a really critical point for it to break through, but it's going to be potentially a tough one. What am I saying? Short term, I'm indecisive, maybe leaning a little more toward bearish. Medium to long term, bullish as fuck. Let's go. That's why we said weeks ago we were loading up at 62, we were loading up at 56, we're loading up at 52, we're loading up at 46, given these opportunities. We've hit opportunity one. Do you got the balls to go in? We'll see at the end of the bull run to find out. Solana, where are we at? Like I said, if Bitcoin does take that bleed out, I do see us coming down, losing toward that 60%, coming down onto the long-term support that we've had, and retesting this long-term support and the 60% down range, as well as a Thor call, right? There's a lot of signals that line up that if we go down, this could be the bottom of it. So get ready. Are we going to hit it? I don't know. That's why you have DCA points on the way down. You see, we had the point here. We knew we had to fill at least this 150 zone. We kind of fell right through it. We kept saying we never really retested this top once we left it. Well, we've tested it again. Are you DCAing now? Not financial advice. Do your own research. Don't get left behind in the bull run, but make sure you have some firepower, some dry powder to load up if we do hit these lower target zones. Let's get a little degenerate. Hopping into Kira. Kira looks like it could be breaking the downtrend. This yellow line down here, we've got our 60% retrace. We look to be finding support, although we could get squashed and keep ranging here. If the market goes down and bleeds, I expect Kira to do so as well. When it comes to Kira, look at fully diluted market cap. Look at max token supply. Do the math. We'll leave it at that. Jupiter. We get Jupe calls. We got a little bit of Jupiter for having frogs. We got some Jupiter. We get Jupiter calls just for having a frog. So we're going to take a look at Jupiter. We called this zone back here, right? We said this zone has never had any price action test anywhere, and we blew right through that zone, and we expected to retest it. I actually had a buy order in for our wallet showing people how to place a limit order. We placed a limit order for $1.02 for Jupiter. Anywhere under $1 for Jupiter, in my mind, is bullish. The homie Rumpty hosts Cyber Dojo on Mondays, and I learned in Cyber Dojo that at the Uniswap market cap last bull run, so the last bull run market cap of Uniswap, if we are to apply that to Jupiter in this run, we're looking at a $16 Jupe. So zoom out, look at the targets. Looks like a pretty good DCA point, especially if you're looking to lock a little more up, maybe get some more votes, airdrops. Not financial advice. Do your own research. But remember, with Thor manual calls, you're also going to get Jupiter as well. So we keep you on point here, folks. That being said, if this still seems like a little too much for you, stick with us here in Marketflow. Stick with us on Cyber Dojo on Mondays. Jump in on Thursday evenings, decoding with Dregs. Learn a little bit more about the markets. Become more comfortable with trading and doing these things. And until then, or in the meantime, or at the same time, as I personally do both, consider using AutoThor. If you didn't sell Solana above 200 and up to 210 to preserve your buying capital and start buying back in and have firepower to keep buying back in down here, maybe you should consider using AutoThor. We have approximately 2.4 million TVL. It's been, I don't even want to say what the max was during the bull run. It was fucking crazy. I remember seeing several 300% performances during the bull run. Basically, all we got to say is, frogs fuck, Thor Prince. See you for the next Marketflow and the rest of this bull run.